Okay, so this has been training for about 4 hours. I'm going to leave it running, but we're going to see what we have so far. So you can run the packaging scripts while it's still training. You just need to modify them to choose the models you want to use. So as you can see, we average the models together. So you enter the two that are going to be averaged, and then we create this average.pt. You don't have to do this. I found best results with just averaging two that are right next to each other. Probably room for improvement here. But we only have one, so we're not going to average at all. So we're just going to package the 3000 checkpoint. Okay, we had an issue. So we failed trying to package Stanza for obvious reasons. We're not using Stanza. That's the whole point. Okay. So SBD from SBB2.Argos model. So we're just going to copy this locally to test it. So we have the GUI running here. Okay, so let's install it. Okay, yeah. So what just happened was it tried to run Stanza. So fortunately, I've already done some debugging around this. So okay, so we have this experimental enabled setting, which gets set in settings.py from an environment variable, and right now and this is just to test out new features without breaking old ones, and so right now we're just disabling sentence piece, so it's not going to fail. It's not going to fail since we didn't package a sentence piece model. Okay, export Argos experiment enabled equals 1. Okay. Okay, and there we go. So let's try doing some real text. So we want to do a similar format of Um, detect sentence boundaries, a sentence, and then potential more. So this seems to work. Here he divides the number of techniques for speeding the break control, including improvements. So interesting. So it changed Enigma to adorned, but then otherwise seems to work. So it's going to be a bit of an interesting question how you can, like, how we go from a potentially slightly modified sentence boundary that comes out of the sequence-to-sequence model and use that to chop up the actual input text without modifying it. Okay, so that looks good. So let's try some other languages. So I'd expect it to work best for English and Spanish, since that's what was the majority of the data. Yeah, so got it here. Okay, so Chinese and Hindi. So I think we want to look for, I think these are the sentence boundaries. Okay. So let's do this guy to here. Oh, interesting. So that does not work. Okay, that's about Hindi. I'm forgetting what the sentence boundaries were. Full stop. Okay, so this does not seem to be commonly used. So using a comma. So I guess we can just see what it outputs. Okay. So it seems to not be able to do Chinese or Hindi. Let's see about other European languages. So what about German? Yeah, that seems to work. Okay, so that seems to work. So even with just 3,000 checkpoints, it seems to work quite well for languages that use the Latin alphabet and periods, but very poorly even for English and Hindi, which were in the data set. Okay, so I think I'm going to let it train a bit longer and see if it improves at all for Indian Chinese, and then go from there.